What is up, guys? It is Steady Chaos. It's been a while, indeed, it's been a while. And it's not that I'm avoiding you guys, I love you guys. It's that I was playing Elden Ring on the PC, and good God. If you are looking for an amazing RPG experience and a challenge, then Elden Ring is for you. If you are a casual player, stay far, far away from Elden Ring. I had also been looking around for the 42-inch form factor LG-C2, and that is a hard variant to find. Amazon just got some stock in this past week, and I was lucky enough to jump on it, and it got here in 3 business days, thank you to UPS. So let's open this bad boy up. We got the knife, tried to come prepared. So it says front facing this way, so I have it backwards right now. So let's flip it around. I tried to set up the camera so that you get a pretty good view of this. So we cut the sides. Well packaged. It's not heavy. It's generally easy for movers to kind of move around, or for UPS guys to move around, so I'm not worried about it having too much damage or anything from transport. I think it will be fine. There's no puncture holes in the box. When I got the 48-inch LG C1 last year, it had a bunch of holes in the box, but that was from Best Buy. Alright. So the very first thing we see is the remote. And I don't know, I can't tell what's in here. We'll have to look at that after. This is one of the legs, okay? Let's open this up. It still seems sturdy, but it's a very light piece of metal. Hopefully the TV is just as sturdy and not too wobbly. And here's the second leg. Again, metal, but it almost feels like it's hollow. It feels light, even though it is metal. And what do we have here? Okay, we have a plastic part that I assume clips onto the back of the TV to cover up some of your wiring. The C1 had a similar part. Yeah, this clips onto the back, just plastic. Set this aside. Now, for the main course, let's pull this off, revealing the panel. That aside. Now, the panel is covered up by this. What we can do is, I think I can lift this right out of the box. And whereas this TV is pretty light and small form factor, I don't think it will be a problem for me to set the TV down either directly on the carpet or maybe even on the box so I can get the legs on. So let's pull it out. Oh yeah, that's not heavy at all. You really can pull it right out of its packaging. You see inside there, it's got some styrofoam packaging that holds it in place. I think honestly, I can tilt the TV forward right on this cardboard box, and I don't suspect it's going to do any damage. We'll keep this protective coating on here. Gently set it down. Okay, yes, the back of the TV does look different. The TV looks very premium in the back. Definitely a high quality construction, I would say. Now the power cord appears to be hardwired directly to the back of the TV, which isn't really ideal. Let's take this screw out. There's a plastic piece covering up this cord that connects to the back of the TV, so let's see if in fact this is hardwired. It is indeed hardwired. This cord goes directly into the back of the TV, so there will be no removing of this power cord. That kind of stinks. We have the screws to put the stand in. So this is A, and this is B. The A installs on the right side. Like that. So it has a little lip or tooth right here. And you just need to kind of pop it in to the back of the chassis of the TV. So you go like this at an angle, pop it down, and it's in. And that's when it needs the screws. right, and that should do it. Very easy assembly for these two legs. I remember when I did the LG C10 and C1, you had that kind of awkward plate on the stand, that singular V-shaped stand. You had to assemble the plate just the right way to the back side of the stand, and you had to kind of get it in there, and it was kind of heavy and awkward. So this is a much easier process, much more manageable, and it's just all around more user-friendly, I think. What I want to do is stand the TV up for you guys so you can get a good idea of its form factor. It's very light. Trying to stand this up without putting any pressure on the screen. Grab the bottom, just like that. And we have this soft covering on the front still. We can pull that off. And here you have it. Let's bring it a little closer to the screen. Much, much lighter than previous models. Undoubtedly, much lighter. And we can get a side profile. It doesn't have that base that juts out on the back like previous models have had, my 48-inch C1, the 55-inch C10. It's very, very thin up at the top part of the screen, and that thinness goes all the way down to about halfway, and then it sticks out where all the internals are. The 42-inch model is clearly a little bit different, that you have the same thin screen at the top here, but that only extends down 1.5 inches or so, and then you have it kind of jut out right here. And as far as the inputs, turn it around. God, this TV is so light. 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs, and these are full fat. Yeah, they are full HDMI 2.1, 48 gigabits per second bandwidth. They are no longer 40 gigabits per second bandwidth. You have a LAN port. You have 3 USB in ports, a cable antenna port, and an audio optical out port. When you turn it around the back, you can tell it's a very solid construction. It's very attractive looking. It's got this kind of this grayish background to it. It does have the 4 screw holes for the VESA mount if that is something you want to do. All the HDMI inputs, all the connectivity, it's all covered up by this nice plastic piece. And all of your wires will be fed up through this little hole, going up in and then plugging off to the side. And of course, the plugs are not directly from the back. They come up and they angle into the TV from the side, and that's so if you want to wall mount it, you can wall mount it cleanly against the front of the wall. So let's bring it over to the gaming station. We'll set it up right beside the 48-inch C1. We have it on the desk right beside the 48-inch LG C1. But the first thing we want to do with this TV is make sure that we peel the film off of the front. That is critical. And you can see right now with the film on, the TV looks like a mirror. I mean, it is very reflective. It's not quite that bad once you take the film off. From the lower left, we'll be able to peel the film off, which I know for many of you is very satisfying. Now, all LG OLEDs use a glossy screen, not a matte screen. So reflections will be an issue for some of you, sure. And you add the fact in that the OLEDs don't get as bright as QLEDs, so they can't fight daytime glare as well. But even though this is a glossy screen, which I prefer, because I think glossy screens have better looking contrast, especially at night. But even though this is a glossy screen, LG's anti-reflective coating on the TV does a good job of at least diffusing some of the reflections, so they're not quite too bad anyway. Grab the remote and just do a quick comparison. The remote in my right hand, this one is the LG C2 remote. The remote in my left hand is the LG C1 remote. Absolutely zero difference. Zero. Even the Prime Video, Netflix, Disney, LG channels, and Alexa buttons are pretty much all the same. The only difference is that they have the Alexa logo here and then they write out Alexa here. But otherwise, they're exactly the same. That's fine. I think the LG remote is good. I just wish it would have some sort of backlight. Alright guys, we have the LG C2 hooked up to my PC via HDMI 2.1 with an RTX 3080. So let's right click on NVIDIA control panel. And we go to change resolution. We are at 3840 by 2160, 4K, which is what we want, obviously. We're at 120 Hertz, which is what we want. We go down here. We are 32-bit, 10-bit, RGB, and output dynamic range full. And now we want to look at a few settings right away on this LG C2. So we hit the gear button on the remote, bring it up, and already I can tell that the menu navigation is much much more responsive on the C2 than it was on the C1 or the C10. So let's go to General. Let's go to AI Service. AI Sound Pro can be on, but otherwise AI Picture Pro, AI Brightness Settings, AI Genre Selection, all that stuff off. I don't want any of that stuff on. I don't want the TV to be manipulating my image. OLED Care. Device self-care. No, we don't need... Well, we do want to go here, and we want to go to energy saving. You want that to be off. And then you go to OLED panel care, and screen move should be on. And adjust logo brightness. Ideally, that would at least be low, but if you want maximum protection for your panel, I would recommend putting it in high. And we go back. Let's see, family settings. I don't think that's anything I got to worry about. I'm the only one using this TV, so you can set the usage limit or eye care mode, volume limit mode. Those are good if you have little ones around that use the TV. And let's see. Now, if you want to take a look at your TV's information, like how many hours you have used it, for example, you go to TV information, you see down here, total power on time, it's brand new. So it has 0 hours of use for now. You see the model number, 42C2, you go back. You want to make sure that you're in home mode and not store demo mode. Then in HDMI settings, you want to select that, and you want to make sure in HDMI deep color that you are in 4K. That's the only way your screen will natively display 4K 120 Hz with 10-bit color. And Chroma 444. Strangely enough, and based on what Ratings or Artings has said about their LG C2 review unit, is you do not need to set this TV into PC mode anymore to get Chroma 444. You can simply leave the HDMI input as it is. It will automatically show the proper chroma levels depending on the source feed. So that is really interesting. I'll have to test that out to make sure that's true. All right, so we go back, now we go to support, and then the next thing you want to do is you want to check for software. So there is an important software update available. We can download and install that right after we conclude this video. I won't do it right this moment. We go to sound. I have AI Sound Pro on. And these settings I'm not going to worry about for now, but the one thing you want to do, make sure, is installation type. You want to select stand. If it's wall mounted, then you would select wall mount, okay? That can change the way that the audio works or sounds based on how you have the TV set up. So picture, we are in game optimizer, aspect ratio 16:9, advanced settings. Brightness, we are in HDR right now, so we want the OLED pixel brightness and contrast 100, black level 50, auto dynamic contrast off, dynamic tone mapping, we'll go to HGig, which is more accurate, typically speaking. Video range is auto, which it should be full, so we select full, nothing changes because it is full. If we select limited, it should change, right? We don't want that, we want auto or full, because we're using full HDMI 2.1 bandwidth. Motion eye care is off. Color, 55 is the default, I'll leave it there. White balance, we set it to, I'm gonna go warm 50. So you get closer to that D6500 white point. Makes the screen a little bit yellow for some. If that's the case, you can back it down. It's a matter of personal preference. But typically, the D6500 white point is the desired white point. Adjust sharpness, it is at 10 by default. I will set it to 0. That is the correct value. Or the, well, yeah, that's the correct value. Again, it's, you know, it's subjective. If you want a little bit of added edge enhancement in your image, then by all means, go for it. Super resolution off. And then all these other options are grayed out in game optimizer mode. Filmmaker mode, auto change off. Reduce blue light off. So again, the menu navigation is super fast. Much faster and more responsive than the LG C1 was for sure. Alright, so let's bring up a video game on Steam real quick. Now that we have all of our picture settings. We will bring up Elden Ring. Thank God I finally beat that game so I can get my life back. 149.4 hours I invested in this game to beat it. Absolutely insane. So game optimizer has to be engaged. We turn that on. Now Elden Ring is locked at 60 FPS. There's nothing I can do to change that. That's why it's showing 59 right now. Now the game genre, these are your options: first-person shooter, role-playing, real-time strategy, and sports. Sports is, I believe, a new one, but these other four here, RTS, RPG, FPS, and standard, are the same from the C1. We'll just leave it on standard. And then you have OLED Motion Pro, which is BFI. Strangely enough, LG did away with BFI at 120 Hz this year. Now you only have BFI at 60 Hz, but either way,
we have that option grayed out and it's not usable right now. Reduced blue light, that is off. So if you go level 2, it just makes the screen more yellow, which is easier on your eyes. Darkroom mode, that's new. Adjust the screen brightness in a darkened room for easier viewing. It just dims your screen a little bit. I don't know why you would ever want to do that, especially in HDR. Prevent input delay or input lag reduction. This is the same function that we had. It was called Boost last year on the C1, and here it is, Boost. We'll do that. It boosts 60 Hz signals, but it does not do anything for 120 Hz signals. And game dashboard is on. AI game sound, we can turn that on. VR RNG sync is on. AMD FreeSync Premium is off. I'm not using it. And the same fine-tuned dark areas is available. I suspect that is available because LG has still not fixed VRR flicker. Stay tuned. I will have a video testing that out. Menu color, you can change, make it orange, whatever. That's it for those settings in the game optimizer. All right, we are ready for a quick demo. I'm really excited about this form factor. Using 4K at 42 inches, you're gonna have some serious pixel density. You're gonna have some serious sharpness. Yeah, it looks great. Though if I am being completely honest, it's not a huge change from the LG C1. Looks pretty similar, feels pretty similar. Let's try transporting to a new location. Maybe we can get a brighter area. Yeah, you're talking about a panel that's, 10-bit, still has 99% DCI P3, but I think where you might see a little bit of difference here is with the Alpha 9 Gen 5 processor and the 42-inch form factor. So you have greater pixel density and you have that Alpha 9 Gen 5 processor working to refine and sharpen the image ever so slightly, and it does look just a hair sharper. Again, it could be the small form factor, I don't know. But it is super responsive. You can see here with G-Sync engaged, we have absolutely zero screen tear. I also have V-Sync engaged as well. Ideally, if you're using G-Sync, you want V-Sync engaged so that you have consistent frame times. You don't have frame spikes, and therefore you don't have any sort of tearing. Yeah, this looks great. I'd say the brightness is about on par with my 48-inch C1. So if there is anything else you guys would like to see in terms of a game or a demo, let me know. But stay tuned going forward. There are going to be countless videos where I test out this LG C2. I have a colorimeter, I have Kalman, so we will jump in and we will test this unit's brightness. Oh, I also want to test whether or not this TV is WBE or WBC. Let's jump in and do that right now. Okay, so we have the service remote. Let's see if this is a WBE panel. Typically, with a WBE panel, you see somewhat of a pink tint. Usually, you got to be off angle to see it. Right now, I'm not seeing anything. Let's bring up the service remote and put the code in. Now, in order to test if you have a WBE panel, you want to scroll down to number 12, OLED, and come over here. I'm not seeing. Where would it say? On my C1, that's where it says WBE on OLED cell info. I'm not seeing it here. You can kind of catch a glimpse of it right there on my C1 on the left-hand side of your screen. You see where it says normal on the left side, right above that you see WBE. I don't have that here on my C2. Well, honestly, there is no way to tell with the service remote if this is a WBE or WBC panel like you can with the C1. The C1, you just bring up the service remote and you go down to OLED number 12 and it'll say WBE. With this one, that is completely removed. So LG's trickery continues. When I look at the TV from the side, it does look like it has somewhat of a pink tint, but I can't be sure. So unless I have a spectrometer, which is like a $1,000 piece of equipment, there's no way that I can really tell. A spectrometer would measure the wavelength of the TV, the RGB values, and if they are more clearly defined, that's an indicator of a WBE panel. If they are more blended, that's an indicator of a WBC panel. So, yeah, I can't tell for now. If I do some more testing and I see more of a pink tint, I think that will confirm it's WBE. But anyway, for now, that's going to be this unboxing and quick demo of the LG C2. And again, stay tuned for all sorts of information on the C2, all sorts of measurements from the colorimeter, from Kalman, all sorts of comparisons with my C1. And then at the end of all that, there will be a full and comprehensive review of the LG C2. Okay, guys, so until next time, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.